Assalamualaikum and Selamat Hari Raya. Welcome to Lebaran AWANI. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi.
And I'm Farhana Sheikh.
And we're continuing the festivities. As you know, we've done so for the past 2 nights actually, and this is Syawal too, and we're continuing the festivities. How has Raya been for you, Farhana?
Obviously, by this time, I've overindulged myself, you know. As always, as we all do. You know, I've eaten way too much and taken too many food coma naps. What about you?
Well, as usual, you know, it's the usual staying at home, speaking to family members, catching up, you know, waiting for people to come. And this thing about my family, where actually Raya Satu, actually we don't really go out anywhere. We kind of like stay at home and wait for people to come. I don't know if it's the same with you.
I mean, it differs sometimes depending on the year. Sometimes we go out, sometimes we host in. So I guess it depends. This year we didn't go out. So
didn't go out. Okay. So what's the tema baju Raya? You know, theme Raya apa this year?
This year I'm wearing silver for first day of Raya. What about you?
I mean, this year we're a bit modest because we're expecting, and you know, we're going black, and then next year baru kita fikir balik. But I'm curious, one more thing. How do you come to silver? Is it like a consensus? Is it a vote?
Well, it's more on my husband's baju raya or baju Melayu.
So you just center
around what baju raya, what baju Melayu he has, and then I'll just match that. So I'm pretty simple. But obviously, we don't only have one baju raya. We have a couple. At least I have a couple. Wow. And I actually got a chance to visit a brand called Bayu Somerset.
Bayu Somerset.
Yes,
I'm sure everyone heard of it.
Yeah. So basically, Bayu Somerset is a baju raya brand, a fashion brand that offers very unique, stylish, chic, very colorful, bright baju raya that is also affordable. And I got a chance to pick up a baju raya there and check out their latest collection.
Oh, that's cool.
Right, let's go check it out. Hello and Selamat Hari Raya everyone. Do you like what I'm wearing? This is Bayu Somerset and I'm in front of their store right now to check out their latest collection as well as to find out more about their brand. Let's go. So I'm here with Dania Kamalul, Head Marketing of Bayu Somerset. Thank you so much for joining us today. Right, we want to know the story behind Bayu Somerset. What's behind all this?
Yep, so Bayu Somerset, it was established in 2021. So how it started is that we sort of identified a gap in the local fashion market where most brands predominantly offer high-priced fashion. So I think Bayu Somerset, we saw this opportunity and we provide a more stylish, comfortable and of course affordable products in the market.
The name Bayu Somerset, where did it come from?
So Bayu Somerset, Bayu represents calmness actually. Yeah, and Somerset is a district in the UK.
Right.
Yeah, so in the spring where you see flowers bloom, so that's where the inspiration comes from. Yeah.
Right, okay. So I guess that goes to my next question, which is your designs. Bayu Somerset's design has a very distinct aesthetic. It's very colourful, very bright, very cheerful. What inspires them?
So Bayu Somerset embodies a bold and confident woman. So we always want to encourage our customers to stay confident and adventure in their, everyday style. So what better way to do that than, vibrant and colorful clothing? So that's where the inspiration comes from, and we really want our customers to feel beautiful and to feel confident in their everyday baju.
I mean, I'm wearing one right now, so I do feel very confident in it.
That's good, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about this year's Raya collection.
Okay, so our Raya collection is called Summer Short Raya 2025 collection. So we have 6 collections in total, and through these 6 collections we have about 50 designs for the adults and 30 for the kids. So firstly we have the floral collection, which really I think the inspiration is flowers when they are in full bloom. Yeah, so that's why you see in our floral collection, there's a lot of big flower patterns. So really reflecting the beauty of nature at its peak. And then next we have Bunga dan Bintang. So I'm wearing one from the collection. Yeah, so it's a collaboration from local artists called Kirin. Yeah, so it started in 2022, and then you know, it has become an annual thing. And then we have a whimsical, Moroccan, coral, and finally our batik collection.
Right, and they're all beautiful collection. I checked it in store just now, just browsing through first so that I can make my purchase later. Right, so being in this industry for many years now, this year, what's the biggest Raya fashion trend this year? We want to get your intake on this.
Yeah, actually for me personally, from what I see in the market right now, I do see kebaya sort of
you know, making a comeback.
Yeah, making a comeback and like you know, being the trend, because but it depends on how the brands come up with the design. Like it could be traditional or a more modern way. But yeah, I think personally it's the kebaya. I think the ladies out there, they like the comfort and the elegance that you know, kebaya brings.
I also do see kebarong lately, right?
Yeah,
as
we
well.
do have.
So a bit more traditional. Traditional clothes from before being sort of modernized now. Just my 2 cents.
We
from
do
a
have
shopper.
Yeah, we do have kebarong.
Right.
Yeah.
So on that, what's your style? What's your tip for your customers or for users on staying effortlessly chic?
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, I always go for simple yet elegant. Yeah, so simple doesn't mean that you can't wear, you know, colorful and vibrant colors. You can. I mean, I'm wearing one of the collection that is very colorful, but you know, add a little bit of like subtle, you know, glamour in it. Like you can always play with jewelries. Like usually in Raya, I'll wear like earrings and you know, jewelries like rings and necklaces and all that. Yeah.
So it's a little
it's a little detail. Yeah, but you can be colorful at the same time.
Right, so Bayu Somerset already has a presence in Singapore. Do you guys have any plans to venture into other ASEAN markets?
Yeah, so in Singapore for this year, we opened 2 booths in Singapore. And the feedback that we have received is very, very positive. I think our customers, they appreciate the offline access that we've provided for them, because they do like to see and try our products. So I think taking this in mind, we definitely always exploring opportunities to expand into other neighboring countries. But for now, since we already have, you know, existing loyal Singapore customers, it's natural for us to, you know, start to consider Singapore first. But yeah, and for now, for Malaysia, we focus on strengthening our presence in each state in Malaysia.
Right, okay, so drawing on that, Malaysia is chairing ASEAN 2025 this year, and there's a push for stronger regional economic ties. So what do you think the role of brands like Somerset, Bayu Somerset, can play in terms of strengthening the cultural and business ties across ASEAN?
Yes, definitely. I think local brands such as Bayu Somerset does play a big role. So I think for us, fashion is not just about clothing. I think it's a way to celebrate culture by incorporating, you know, traditional elements from other ASEAN countries as well. So I think for Bayu Somerset, we always take inspiration from other markets and you know, translating that in our products. So, but I think in business perspective, I think it definitely you know, working alongside local artists or designers or suppliers, I think foster that cross-border collaboration and trade, expanding into markets, you know, through retail, pop-up, and also e-commerce as well. I think boosts that you know, regional connection.
Right, and this is what we are all here for. This sense of interconnectedness, you know, togetherness. It's also the spirit of Raya as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my next question would be. What's next in the pipeline for Bayu Somerset? Any upcoming projects or something you want to tease for us?
I think, yeah, I mean, definitely Bayu Somerset is always exploring to, you know, to expand. For now, our focus is really, because we're seeing a shift back to brick and mortar within the industry. So we are strengthening our offline presence in Malaysia with the aim of, you know, one outlet in each state by next year. Yeah, hopefully. Additionally, we are also exploring other collaborations with other local brands in the market, and it's not just within fashion. It's you know, within the F&B space as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all looking
Yeah,
forward.
we're
Loyal
excited.
customers, I'm pretty sure, are really looking forward to it.
Right.
So my last question would be, you know, being someone in the industry and being someone who is very up to date in all the Baju Raya fashion. How do you see the Baju Raya fashion evolving in the near future? Maybe in the next 5 years or so.
I think definitely. I mean, now it's already evolving. So I'm you know, I foresee that in 5 years, I think it will evolve as well. But you know, I think brands will come out with like different designs, you know, different silhouettes. But you know, as Malaysian, I think most Malaysians will still go back to the, you know, the comfy baju raya, baju kurung. I think we will still stay true to our, you know, traditional clothing. So yes, it will evolve, but we will make sure that we stay true to our, you know, traditional baju kurung and baju kebaya.
I mean, you're definitely right, and it's all here. Comfort, traditional, it's all here at Bayu Somerset, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that wraps up our session here. Before we end, would you like to wish everyone at home Selamat Hari Raya?
Yes, I think Selamat Hari Raya, maaf zahir dan batin. I hope your Raya is as comfy as our baju kurung. Yeah.
That's so nice. Alright, okay. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Selamat Hari Raya. Welcome back. We are at Le Meridian today to celebrate the second day of Raya with all of you. I'm Farhana Sheikh and this is
Hafiz Marzukhi.
to celebrate the second day of Raya with you guys. Now, we talked about you know, how we celebrate Raya, but I want to know from you, Hafiz. You also celebrate Chinese New Year.
Yes, actually, from
So tell us
my
a little
wife's
bit,
side.
about the differences.
Well, actually, you'll be surprised. Actually, it's pretty much the same when it comes to food, right? We've always overindulged, whether it's Raya Cinta or, you know, or Raya Aidilfitri, Raya Haji or whatever. You know, festive seasons in Malaysia is all about eating. But I think the thing about my wife's family specifically, and my wife's from Sabah, you know, we actually do not go out, which is in contrast with my Penang family, which we actually visit houses. But I'm not sure about you. Do you have like, because some families they just exclusively host, some families just exclusively visit. What about your family?
Like I said before, it depends. Sometimes we host, sometimes we go out. But I think it depends on the mood and the manpower actually to host, because sometimes it can be quite overwhelming to host, right? Yeah,
exactly. And what is it like, you know, I understand your husband's from Singapore. What is it like, you know, Raya kat sana? You know, I'm sure there's some subtle differences at least.
Right. So my husband's family is from Singapore. So we usually do Raya there. We alternate between Raya Singapore and Raya Shah Alam, JB, I guess. But Raya in Singapore is quite different in the sense that they usually only have 1 day of cuti.
Satu hari je?
Yeah, satu hari as compared to us, we're quite lucky. So during this 1 day, they will just go all out. Like, you know, very planned, very scheduled, at least in my family. You know, we go out, we gather at one place and then we go out, and usually we can cover like all of the houses within 1 day.
So macam kita, like we Malaysian technically usually take like 1 week break. Do they do that, or you know?
From my experience, no. Because we settle all the houses usually in 1 day. We go from one side of Singapore to the other. Mind you, we can do that in a few hours. And then after that, we're just chilling at home and be with family, as compared to in Malaysia where, you know, we Raya almost a month.
And it never ends, right?
And it never ends.
So you know, so going from one neighboring country, Singapore, to another neighboring country. In fact, one of our colleagues, Tehmina, actually spoke to an Indonesian model and gender advocate. Let's hear from her.
Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Welcome to Lebaran AWANI with me, Tehmina Kaoosji. A very happy Hari Raya Idul Fitri to all our viewers, our Muslim viewers watching us here on Awani. And today it's such a delight. You're joining me here live in our studios at Astro Awani. And I have joining me online, all the way from Jakarta in Indonesia, Arumi Bachsin. Now, Arumi is the ECED Council Chair. ECED is the Early Childhood Education and Development Project in Indonesia with the World Bank, as well as an internet personality. Arumi, Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri, as you say in Indonesia. How are you today?
I'm good. Assalamualaikum. Selamat Hari Raya for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making time for Lebaran Awani, especially during this very busy period. So tell me, how has your day started off during the first period of Idul Fitri? How was your morning? Was it busy? Tell me what all the traditions that you always observe during this day look like.
As a mother of three, the morning of Hari Raya is always busy, of course. We need to get ready for the kids, and then we meet our parents, and then of course, busy with the food as well, yeah. So I try our mother's cooks, yeah.
Exactly, of course. And I think food and festivities, they always go together. But I love the fact that you always balance your time. I've been following you for quite a while online now. And I noticed that you have such an active public life as well. Tell me about how you've been able to balance that, especially all through Ramadan, together with your responsibilities, not only as a mother, but also working.
Well, until now, I'm still searching for the answer actually, because I don't know. I mean, I'm just go with the flow. Sometimes I just like, if my kids need it more, so I'm gonna reduce my work for that month, and then so on and so forth. So everything is adjustable in case of my work and my activity with the kids as a mother or as a wife. So I think to get to the world of balance, it's very difficult. You always gonna be trade off. I mean, when you are busy with work, you're gonna be trading off your time with the kids, but as well as if you spend more time with your husband or your family or your kids, of course you're trading off your time with the career or with the works. But everything just needs a little bit more calculating and get more comfortable to the uncomfortable. So I think I'm just go with the flow and adaptive all the time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing that. I mean, it's all about balance all the time, right? But also, let's go a little deeper, Arumi. Now, Eid is also a mirror of change and a time for reflection. Tell us about how you are observing the youth and the young generation in Indonesia is also celebrating not only Ramadan, but also Hari Raya Idul Fitri each year. How has it been changing of late?
Okay, first of all, I'm glad that the traditions keep on growing through the generations. So I still see a lot of young generations still respect their elders. If they have to pulang kampung or mudik, they still do that, bringing their own children with the grandparents. So that's one thing, the tradition still going on, but maybe in a way of celebrating Eid itself, maybe with a new touch. So for the young, especially back then, my mom, my mother-in-law, and everybody in the elder generations, they cook, they clean, they prepare the house like, oh my God, it's so
exactly top to bottom, right? Top to bottom.
In my generation now, maybe simplify a little bit. Oh, my friend can cook rendang very well. Then we ordered, and then my another friend can cook kue or snacks for Lebaran. Oh yeah, we ordered. So maybe there's a little bit of change, simplified. But the traditions of going to elders and meeting the families, the relatives, is still going on, and that's I'm so glad with the very individualistic generation right now that still exists. I'm so glad.
Yeah, exactly. And I think our traditions and culture, it is reflected often during the festive period, especially as we grow a little older. So tell me more about, well, in Malaysia, we of course call it balik kampung. In Indonesia, it's more commonly known as mudik. Tell us more about this entire festive time when it's so common to go back home, and what does your family look forward to?
Well, in my case, for example, all my family is in Jakarta, and
Yeah.
with my husband and my family, my own family, we work in Surabaya. So Lebaran, we know have to mudik or pulang kampung, but to the city, not to the region area. So we go back where our parents are, and our it's very now I understand. So I'm growing up, my parents and the whole family. I born and raised in Jakarta, so I never pulang kampung before I married. I never pulang kampung, so I'm always in Jakarta and having eat also in Jakarta. So raised, born, and growing up there, and then now I have a family, and then now I have to pulang kampung, but it's in Jakarta. Now I understand the sensations of pulang kampung after the whole year. All the kids, my siblings and everything, busy with their own life, their own family, with work and everything. And then one moment every year in Eid, we can go back to our parents' house. Me especially, I become a kid again. It's not me become a kid again. I get to try my mother's cook again, and then my kids as well can know their relatives, their cousins, and it's actually very memorable thing, because growing up Lebaran or Eid is actually very memorable thing for me, and now it's my job and my duty as well to make them our kids to having memorable time during it. They get to know their grandparents, their cousins, their relatives, their families. Because now raising the Gen Alpha with the digital technology is very easy to get them distracted and losing their roots. So it actually is one of the opportunity for us to keep them in their roots.
Yeah, exactly. And yourself and husband Emil, your parents to 3 Gen Alphas. So that is quite a handful to balance, right? So Arumi, speaking of children as well, tell me more about the good work that you've been doing as EDEC Council Chair, and why it is not only just close to your heart, but it's also work that really helps to secure future opportunities for children all around Indonesia. Not only during, of course, this wonderful festive season, but throughout the year.
Okay, for children, they need to understand their own culture and their own values, their own background, where they come from. And I think this is the moment, and it is one of the momentum that is really valuable to us to teach them. We as Indonesian or maybe Malaysians and as Muslim, we have these traditions, and every single year we celebrate this in certain way, showing them this is our roots, how we respect the elders, how we know, no matter our background is, maybe you can be someone successful outside in social world and everything, but when you go back to your families, you are forced to remember where you are come from. And I think that is very important, especially once again in this kind of generations, the digitalizations, where our kids now can see all over the world without filters. So they may think like what other people or what they see in the social media, for example, a success story, it's easier to get. And they tend to forget values, the process, how getting there. And actually the momentum of each is actually very important to keep them know who they are, where they come from, and appreciate the difference between Indonesians or Malaysians or European countries. So we can, next generation, we can share the beauty of the difference.
Absolutely, and I think at least in ASEAN and around our region of Nusantara, there are so many common threads. And I think it's always wonderful to see that Idul Fitri is celebrated so in such a manner that everybody actually feels involved. I think especially in Malaysia, also as a non-Muslim, I always feel like I'm a huge part of the celebrations and that I am actually looking forward to visiting my friends, visiting close family, etc., who also celebrate. I would love to ask you about the role of social media, because you are also a very active personality on the internet. You have been maintaining a YouTube channel. You've got more than 600,000 subscribers. You've got over 1 million followers just on your Instagram. Tell us about how you decide what type of content you're going to be putting out there, being conscious of not only your personality, your individuality, but also the fact that you're a role model for the wider public and especially young women and girls.
Okay, actually, my social media content is actually very affected by the positions of my husband as well. So before I just post whatever I think it's cute, it's nice and everything. But now, as a wife of Emil Dadak, and he has his own role in East Java province, it's affected me. It's not that I'm creating things, but I'm still who I am. But it's just more conscious and responsible. But that's the tricky part. Where can I get I still want to get related. You see, with the people that see my content, they can relate to my content. So I started to just upload something that is very, very real as a mother, as a wife, whatever things that my life, and I believe a lot of women and mother out there, especially in my generations and my age, can relate to, with the kids, with the prices of the goods in market, with cooking, with the spending time with the kids and everything. So along the way, I started to using the social media to have a message as well. So I'm raising the Gen Alpha, and I think it's a whole new world, yeah. We never raised that way either. But now, yeah, I'm craving all the social, the quality time with the kids, quality time with the papa, the whole family, and I'm using the content as the reason. To help. Can you guys help me making this content and everything? It's just a reason actually, but to have a quality time with them. And surprisingly, the people who watch my content can get it. So they can get that, oh, that's quality time together with the kids, especially in Ramadan. It's actually more exciting because they are fasting and then they can wait to eat their food and they get to choose what the menu to cook. And it's actually wonderful. I'm blessed. Whatever content that I think is just simple and very relatable and very real to my life can be appreciated and feel related by the people who watch it.
Yeah, and I can really notice that, you know, the way in which you're engaging not only with the audience, but the way you're actually just sharing a slice of your daily life. And I love that you've been able to make this transition in the type of content you're producing, because social media, nevertheless, it's a huge responsibility when it comes to the influence it can have on people. So speaking of influences as well, Arumi, of course, Hari Raya Idul Fitri, it's a time of celebration, it's a time of getting a lot of new things, if we can afford them. So let's talk about, there's also a huge rise in consumerism. But at the same time, you also are quite active and have been doing more work in the area of uplifting women, especially those from lower economic backgrounds. Tell us about how that looks like, especially during a huge festive season in a country like Indonesia, which is, has such a huge population, and the influence that that has on everybody, especially those from other economic sectors.
Okay, Ramadan and Eid is actually first you were 100% right, where it's the consumerism is raising double or triple in this month, and but second we can see this, and I see a lot of women see this month as the opportunity. So, for example, the pure house wife, I mean, doesn't work or earn money outside the house. Sometimes using this month to get the income. They have skills, for example, they can make kue or snacks for eat, or they can make rendang and everything. They never sell it in other months, but because of the very, very high demand, they can see the opportunity. Hey, do you want my rendang? You can try it first, and only this month, those moments, especially with the lower economic background, they can see this opportunity, and now the trust between the consumer with the small industries, small industry sectors is actually rising. So, for example, my mom is a very cook. Her whole life is cooking, but due to age, of course, like rendang, you have to cook like hours and hours, and maybe the energy is no longer there. So, oh, okay, I'm gonna order it for my friends, but she never cook or sell rendang in other months, only in this month. So those kind of examples, actually, one thing we hope that these traditions doesn't pressure the lower economic background. So they have to up to the standard, for example, giving the hampers or having the social pressure. But on other hand, if they can see this one as the opportunity to have like THR or Lebaran incentive. They can have like that. So we really empowered, especially for small industries, home industries. So okay, this one is actually the opportunity. You can create everything. You can create, or if you cannot cook, you can create clothes. You can make hampers and everything. And now hampers traditions or gifts traditions, I see shifting as well. Back then, when I was a kid, there's a thing where, oh, this family gives us hampers with the branded things and everything. But now it started to shift. Even the high economic background relative no longer give that. They started to give something that is meaningful. So I see this opportunity is really, really good. So there is no comparison between the high or low economic anymore, but more about the message and the message or the attention that they give. They can give us a soap or they can give us a candle, but it's homemade and everything, and that's more appreciated nowadays. And I see this, and I really, really welcome this trend actually.
Oh, absolutely. I think what I'm hearing a lot of is that there's so much more responsible consumption happening because all of these smaller domestic industries actually help with empowering the economic background, especially for women and their families when they come from lower economic structures. So, Arumi, I also really was looking forward to asking you about, you have transitioned also from a career and a background in entertainment media, where as a working actress, into a full-fledged social activist. And how has the transition been for you, and how do you still ensure that you are able to speak about topics, and have you felt any need to change your message, or how do you feel you speak about the topics that are important while also making sure that you are well understood?
Okay, being an entertainer background actually makes my way a lot easier to be accepted from the people. Because maybe they want me, even though when I'm still 100% working as an entertainer, there's no social activities background in that at all. But when I'm starting the transitions, they willing to listen. They're willing to understand what I'm trying to find, because maybe they feel that they know me beforehand. Especially when I'm moving to the East Java province or anywhere in Indonesia, when I'm starting to talk about the things that outside the entertainment industry, they're a little bit confused at first. Of course.
Okay. All right.
Because they're not expecting me to talk about things like that, but because they feel that they know me. Oh, I see you on TV. Oh, I see you. I know you're. Sometimes people know gossips about us. They think they know 100% about us, right? So I took that to my advantage. So they feel close to me, and that makes my way easier in transitioning between like 100% entertainer to now I have the social things that I want to fight. And as well as now with my own missions about kids, about women empowering, I can now using the entertainment background as well to make my voice or my missions or other people's missions can be heard more. Using the platform that I have, the trust that people have in me, maybe starting beforehand, and so on. So it's very complementary each other.
Yeah, maintaining that connection that you've always had with the Indonesian people, but of course, as you change, as you grow, moving into different arenas, right? So as we close out this very wonderful conversation, Arumi, what are your Lebaran wishes for your fans in Malaysia and right from Indonesia?
Well, I wish this year really make recharge. I always say that it's a recharge time for us because we get to meet our families. So we only gonna realize how important family is to us, especially when we already have our own family. Is when sometimes we already love them. And I hope in every Eid and Lebaran we can more appreciate them and recharge in a way that whenever we go back to the family and spend time with them, they don't see us as for my case as an artist or the wife of somebody or somebody with power or me or something like that. They don't see us like that, and I think that is really important to make me always grounded, to value my roots, and as well as to recharge. They can appreciate and listen to us and treat us as who we are, and it's gonna prepare us to welcoming another busy year.
Perfectly put. Thank you so much, Arumi, and of course, wishing you from the Lebaran AWANI team, Selamat Lebaran, and a very wonderful rest of the day ahead. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
That was the interview of Arumi Bachsin by our colleague Tehmina Kaoosji, and we continue on the festivities here in Lebaran AWANI with me, Hafiz Marzukhi, and Farhana Sheikh. Farhana, before we close the show, I do want to know, you talk about overindulging in food.
Yes.
What's your go-to during Raya? Everyone has a go-to, right?
Go-to Raya food to me is always nasi impit and kuah kacang. I feel like
always.
You cannot go wrong. At every houses I visit, I'll go for that first.
Yeah, what about rendang? Not really.
Rendang rendang, I'll have rendang as well, but usually I'll have the kuah kacang first and then after that rendang. What about you?
You know my love for kuah kacang. It's been well documented.
It's been well documented.
Yeah, it's been well documented. But I think one thing that I would like to share is actually, I didn't know growing up there's this dish called baktum. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so baktum is, I can't really pinpoint the origins, but I've eaten it for at least 25 rayas at this point, right? And it's always served. My grandma does it. It's a hearty stew. The way I could describe it is like a goulash, which is a Hungarian dish. It's like tomato-ish stew that is thickened with cornstarch. It's a hearty meal, and you just guna roti and just just dip into it. I don't grow up with rendang and kuah kacang much. I grew up with this. So that's
But where does it come from? Where do you think it originates from?
I actually keep on, because my grandma's from Myanmar. I suspected it's from Myanmar, but apparently it's not. It's so I suspect, and I'm sure our editor-in-chief will be laughing at it. It's a Jawi peranakan food of some sort. Yeah, but it's a bit more like lebih pekat lah as compared. It's not too new. It's not too modern for lack of a better word.
Yeah, very multicultural. Right, because we don't know exactly. I think that's with a lot of the food here in Malaysia as well. It's a mix of a lot of cultures, and then you mix it up, and it turns out real good, and it turns out to be baktum, or it turns out to be rendang. It's a mix of different cultures. So it's very nice.
Yeah.
Right. So talking about different cultures, multiculturalism, we're chairing ASEAN this year.
Yes,
2025.
yes. In fact, in fact, the whole theme of this Lebaran Awani is about talking to various voices. As you can see before the break, we had with Arumi Bachsin. She's from Indonesia, and we try to feature as many voices from around the region. And Malaysia is taking up a step forward in terms of advocating for better integration across the region. And I know you've had a lot of ASEAN friends, right?
I mean, I have a couple, not a lot. I can still count them with my fingers. But yeah, essentially, I do have some journalist friends around ASEAN that would actually like to wish all of Malaysians Selamat Hari Raya. So let's cut to that.
Namaste.
Adab. Sasyakal.
We wish our Malaysian friends a very happy Eid from India. May you all have a blessed and joyful Eid. Eid Mubarak.
Hi, I'm Wilnard from the Philippines. Salamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri to all my Malaysian friends. Wishing you and your loved ones a joyous and blessed Idul Fitri. May this special occasion bring happiness, peace, and prosperity to your home. May your hearts be filled with gratitude, your gatherings be filled with laughter, and your days ahead be filled with endless blessings. Hari Raya is a time of reflection, forgiveness, and togetherness, a beautiful reminder of the importance of unity, kindness, and generosity. May this festive season strengthen the bonds of family and friendship, and may your celebrations be filled with love and warmth. To all celebrating Salamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri, Maaf Zahir Ban Batin, may your journey ahead be filled with success, joy, and good health. Have a wonderful celebration.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Risa dari Jakarta, Indonesia ingin mengucapkan Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Mohon maaf lahir dan batin untuk seluruh umat muslim Malaysia. Semoga momen istimewa ini menjadikan tali persaudaraan kita semakin erat.
Namaste and hello, I'm Janvi Sanaya from National Newswire Indo-Asian News Service, wishing everyone in Malaysia a very happy Eid Mubarak. I hope this special day brings a lot of happiness, peace and good food for everyone. Sending lots of love from India.
Thank you so much to all our ASEAN friends for wishing us here in Malaysia a Selamat Hari Raya.
Yes, that's all we have for this episode of Lebaran Awani. It's basically capped 3 nights of Raya festivities here in Astro Awani. Special thanks to Lee Meridian Putrajaya for hosting us for this 3-night program. That's all from me. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi.
I am Farhana Sheikh.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Bye.